1911, a man named F.H. King traveled across China, Korea, and Japan. He wasn't looking for gold or silk. He was looking for a ghost. He wanted to know how these civilizations had farmed the exact same plots of land for 40 centuries, 4,000 years, without the soil ever giving up. He found landscapes that were vibrant, lush, exploding with life. And here's the kicker, they didn't have a single bag of synthetic fertilizer, no chemical sprays, no inputs, just a perfect closed loop of energy. King called them the farmers of 40 centuries. They weren't just growing food, they were collecting a 4,000-year-old dividend. Now, look at a modern farm. It looks productive, right? Wrong. It's a leaking bucket. Every single day, a modern farm loses energy. It loses topsoil to the wind. It loses nutrients to the rain. It loses its soul to the bank. To keep it alive, you have to keep pouring money in. More chemicals, more diesel, more stuff from people who don't know your name but definitely know your credit card number. A modern farm is dying from the moment it's planted. But a zero-input farm, that's something else entirely. It's evolving. It's a system that actually gains energy over time. It gets stronger while you sleep. Most people who try to start a 1-acre farm fail. They fail fast and they fail hard. Why? Because they try to shrink a 1,000-acre industrial model. They see the big guys with the tractors and the monocrops, and they think, I'll just do that, but smaller. They try to fight nature with a checkbook. They buy the expensive seeds. They buy the special soil. They buy the plastic gadgets. And before they've even pulled a single weed, they're $5,000 in the hole. They aren't farmers, they're just customers for Big Ag. They've been sold a lie that says you need to buy your way into freedom. The ancients knew better. They weren't customers, they were architects of energy. See, the industrial model is linear. It starts at a factory and ends in a landfill. It's a straight line to bankruptcy. What we are building today, what you are about to learn, is the circular fortress. It's a design where the waste of one element becomes the wealth of the next. It's a system that protects your time, your health, and your wallet. This isn't just about gardening. This is about decoupling your life from a system that wants you dependent. It's about building a micro-business that actually serves you, instead of you serving it. We've been taught to be consumers. We've been conditioned to think that more work equals more profit. But in the circular fortress, more design equals less work. It's the ultimate side hustle because it doesn't eat your weekends, it feeds them. It turns your backyard into a literal mint where the currency is biological and the inflation is zero. If you can't see the value in a system that feeds itself, you might as well keep writing checks to the chemical companies. You can keep being a line item on their quarterly earnings report. But if you're still here, it's because you know there's a better way. You can feel it in your gut. There's a version of you that isn't stressed about grocery prices or supply chains. There's a version of you that walks out into a lush 1-acre paradise every morning and knows deep in your bones that you are secure. Don't let this knowledge stop with you. This isn't just a video, it's a movement back to sanity. Subscribing to this channel ensures that this philosophy outlives the industrial era. It keeps the flame alive. If you walk away now, you're choosing the struggle. You're choosing the leaking bucket. You're choosing the checkbook over the design. Stay. Learn how to build your fortress. Let's stop being customers and start being architects. To build this circular fortress, we have to stop thinking like laborers and start thinking like engineers. Your 1 acre isn't just dirt, it's a factory floor. But instead of cold steel and oily pistons, we are installing biological gears. These are the ancient technologies they try to make us forget, because you can't patent a biological process. You can't put a subscription fee on a miracle. 1. The hydraulic heart, the Aztec Chinampa. First, we install the floating sovereign. The Aztecs weren't just farming in Tenochtitlan, they were hacking the hydrologic cycle. They built the Chinampa. Imagine a lattice of willow fencing woven into the bed of a shallow lake, filled with layers of aquatic vegetation and rich, dark lake muck. It's an island, but it's a living one. Think of the Chinampa as a solar-powered nutrient pump. While the conventional farmer is out there with a hose praying for rain or paying for city water, the floating sovereign is self-watering. The roots of your crops reach down and drink directly from the source. The muck at the bottom is a concentrated sludge of every mineral the earth has to offer. This is the lazy edge. In a conventional field, you're lucky to get 2 harvests a year before the soil is exhausted and the seasons turn. The Chai Nampa, it gives you 7 harvests. It's not just a garden, it's a high-frequency trading desk for calories. You aren't working harder, the design is working for you. It's the difference between dragging a cart and driving a Tesla. One is a struggle, the other is a system. 2. The subterranean reactor, vermiculture. Below the surface, we ignite the transmutation engine. They want you to buy bags of NPK fertilizer every spring. They want you to pay a metabolic tax to the chemical giants. But we use the red wiggler. These aren't just worms. They are a biochemical refinery. When you feed your waste, your kitchen scraps, your cardboard, your trash into the reactor, the red wiggler performs a feat of alchemy. They don't just poop, they concentrate. Listen to the numbers. The castings they leave behind contain 5 times the nitrogen, 7 times the phosphorus, and 11 times the potassium of ordinary topsoil. $5 times 7 times 11 times dollar. It's a concentrated wealth injection into your soil's veins. And they aren't working alone. They are the managers of your unpaid labor force. Beneath them, the mycelium, the fungal internet, and billions of microbes are working 24/7. They are your logistics department. They transport minerals from where they are stuck to where your plants need them most. You don't need to hire staff. You don't need a payroll. You have a subterranean army that works for the price of a few apple peels. 3. The atmospheric fixer, the Azolla annabana symbiosis. Finally, we look to the green lightning bolt. This is the secret the industrial giants fear most. There is a tiny aquatic fern called Azolla. On its own, it's just a plant, but it lives in a sacred marriage with a blue-green algae called anabaena. Together, they do something humans need massive, explosive, fossil fuel-burning factories to achieve through the Haber-Bosch process. They suck nitrogen straight out of the air. Nitrogen is the fuel of life, and it's floating all around you for free. The Azolla grabs it and turns it into solid wealth. It doubles its biomass every 3 days. It's a literal explosion of green energy. The cycle is elegant. The duck eats the fern, the duck fertilizes the water feeds the rice feeds you. It's a closed loop, no leaks, no losses, just a constant, compounding interest of fertility. We have been taught to be victims of the market, but these biological gears make you the master of your own ecology. You aren't just a hobbyist anymore, you are a sovereign producer. You are the one who stepped out of the line and built a fortress. You deserve a life where your wealth grows as naturally as the grass. You deserve to be the version of yourself that doesn't check the bank balance before buying quality food. You deserve the freedom that comes from owning the means of your own survival. Subscribe and lock in your place in this new era. Join the architects. If you turn away now, you're just going back to the cubicle, back to the leaking bucket, back to the struggle. But stay with us, and we'll show you how to turn that 1 acre into a dynasty. We aren't reinventing the wheel here. We are simply remembering how it turns. The experts will tell you that ancient methods are relics of a starving past, but that is a calculated lie designed to keep you tethered to their supply chain. The truth is, the most advanced technology on your 1 acre isn't a drone or a smart sensor. It is a 600-year-old synergy, the Igamo resurrection. Look at Taco Furuno. He didn't look for salvation in a lab, he looked for it in the history books. He resurrected the Igamo method. It's a dance of 3 species, rice, ducks, and fish. In a modern rice paddy, the farmer is a slave. He's out there breaking his back to pull weeds and spraying toxic chemicals to kill pests. Furuno replaced the slave with a specialist. He introduced ducks. The ducks eat the weeds. The ducks eat the pests. The ducks, through their very movement, oxygenate the water. And their waste? It's the perfect high nitrogen fuel for the rice. He didn't invent a machine, he curated an ecosystem. He achieved higher yields than the industrial giants with zero chemical inputs. This isn't a hobby, this is an elegant biological coup d'etat. Furuno proved that when you stop fighting nature, she starts working for you for free. The Siberian bunker, BIOS 3. If you think this is just folk wisdom for the countryside, you're missing the scale. During the height of the Cold War, Soviet scientists in a sealed Siberian bunker were asking the same questions. They built BIOS 3. It was a completely closed-loop life support system. They weren't trying to save money, they were trying to save lives in the vacuum of space. They used the exact same principles we're talking about: recycling waste, fixing nitrogen, and maximizing every square inch of biological energy. If these systems can support human life in a frozen, sealed-off bunker or a space station, imagine what they will do for your family on one sunny acre in the real world. This is the ultimate prepper logic turned into a prosper reality. It is a design for survival that results in a surplus of wealth. The economic stealth fact. Let's talk about the money they don't want you to track. The average industrial farmer is a glorified middleman. They take a massive gross income, but 40% of that money, sometimes more, immediately vanishes. It leaks out of the bucket into inputs: fertilizer, pesticides, patented seeds, diesel for the machines that spread the chemicals. When you look at a big farm, you see a 1,000-acre empire. But when you look at their bank account, you see a hostage situation. In our circular fortress design, that 40% isn't an expense, it's your profit. We don't buy fertilizer, we grow it with Azolla. We don't buy pesticides, we recruit the Igamo ducks. We don't buy soil conditioners, we let the red wigglers manufacture them. By eliminating the input, you reclaim the margin. You aren't just making money, you are keeping it. You are shifting from a high-stress, high-overhead job to a high-margin, low-input sovereignty. This is economic stealth. While your neighbors are bragging about their revenue, you're quietly enjoying your profit. Most people watch these videos and do nothing. They treat this knowledge like digital wallpaper, something nice to look at, while they continue the cycle of depletion in their own lives. They go back to the grocery store, back to the debt, and back to the struggle. If you found value in these biological superpowers and you haven't hit subscribe, you are essentially taking the seeds of this wisdom and throwing them on concrete. You're letting the birds take what could have been your orchard. Help us grow this movement. Every person who joins us is one less line item in a corporate ledger. Every subscriber is another architect building a fortress. We aren't just growing food, we're growing a way out. If you're ready to stop being a customer and start being a creator, click that button. Your future self, the one who is secure, fed, and free, is waiting for you to make the move. Close your eyes. Imagine a scent, not the sharp acidic sting of store-bought manure, not the rotting, sulfurous stench of a neglected trash can. I'm talking about the smell of geosmin. It is that deep, primal aroma of a forest floor after the first rain of spring. That smell isn't just nature. It's the signature of $1 billion R&D department. It is the literal breath of actinobacteria, the specialized microbes that live in your circular fortress. When your system is humming, when your compost tea is truly alive, it doesn't smell like rot. It smells like life. It smells like a dividend check. If your soil smells like geosmin, you aren't just a gardener. You're an administrator of an elite biological bank. You are inhaling the fragrance of success. But here is where the amateurs stumble. They fall into the ammonia trap. They get excited. They see the growth. They think, if some nitrogen is good, more must be better. They dump in massive amounts of green material, fresh grass clippings, raw manure, unaged scraps. They treat their farm like a furnace they can just shove coal into. They want results now. But this is a biological machine, not a steam engine. Too much nitrogen, too fast, causes a biological burnout. The temperature spikes, the beneficial microbes are cooked alive. The pH swings wildly, and suddenly that sweet forest smell is replaced by the sharp, suffocating stench of ammonia. That's the smell of money evaporating. That's the smell of your employees quitting. You've crashed the system because you tried to force it. You tried to be the boss instead of the architect. This brings us to the growth paradox. In the old world, the industrial world, they feed the plant. They buy a bag of blue powder, dissolve it in water, and pour it on the roots. It's like giving a human a caffeine pill and no food. The plant grows fast, but it's weak. It's hollow. It's a junkie, and you're the dealer. In our world, we never feed the plant. We feed the soil. We are not vegetable farmers. We are microbe farmers. The tomatoes, the peppers, the giant heads of lettuce, those are just the waste products of a healthy soil ecosystem. They are the byproducts of our success. When you focus on the microbes, the plants take care of themselves. They become resilient, nutrient-dense, and most importantly, profitable. I remember sitting on my porch last July. A massive summer storm rolled in, the kind that turns the sky a bruised purple. My neighbor across the fence was panicking. He was out there in the mud, struggling with a clogged drainage pipe and a tractor that wouldn't start, trying to keep his linear rows from washing away into the creek. He was fighting the water. He was losing the war. I just sat there with a glass of cold tea. I watched the rain hit my chinampas. I watched the water slow down, sink in, and get filtered by the mulch. I knew my red wigglers were deep underground, safe in their subterranean reactor, probably enjoying the extra moisture. My ducks were ecstatic, feasting on the slugs that the rain brought out. I wasn't fighting the rain. I was harvesting it. That is the lazy farmer's life. It's the quiet satisfaction of knowing your design is robust enough to handle the chaos. While the world struggles with inputs and emergencies, you are watching your energy accumulate. You are watching your fortress grow stronger. Now, let's bring it all together. Let's look at the map of your sovereignty. We don't just throw these elements at the land and hope they stick. We use zonal planning. We layer the machine. In the center, closest to your door, sits the hydraulic heart. Your Chinampa system provides the high turnover greens, the herbs, the things you need every day. Surrounding it, we bury the subterranean reactors. Every scrap of waste from your kitchen and your harvests goes straight into the worm beds, creating a ring of fertility that radiates outward. Beyond that, we plant the atmospheric fixers. The azolla ponds and the nitrogen-fixing trees act as the green lightning bolt perimeter, capturing energy from the sky and funneling it back toward the center. It's a single, cohesive 1-acre map where every relationship is a shortcut. This is why this is a design video, not a shopping list. A shopping list of animals is a burden. If I tell you to go buy 5 goats and 10 chickens, I've just given you a list of chores, I've given you a job. But if I give you a blueprint of relationships, I've given you freedom. In a design, the duck's hunger solves the pest problem, the worm's digestion solves the fertilizer problem, the fern's growth solves the nitrogen problem. The industrial model wants you to focus on the things, the tractors, the seeds, the sprays. We focus on the links. When the links are strong, the work disappears. The industrial world wants you to believe you are small. They want you to believe that because your land is small, your impact is negligible. They want you to think you need scale to be significant. But they are lying. In a closed loop, an acre isn't just a piece of dirt. It is an infinite cycle. It is a world unto itself. You are not a small farmer. You are the sovereign ruler of a biological empire. You are the architect of a system that defies the entropy of the modern age. If you've made it this far, you're already part of the 1%. You are part of the group that understands that lazy doesn't mean slothful. It means smart. It means you've traded the shovel for the blueprint. You've traded the checkbook for the design. You have transitioned from being a viewer to being a biological architect. But here is the danger. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. If you don't subscribe and like this video right now, the algorithm will bury this philosophy under a mountain of industrial noise. It will feed you more videos about 10 gadgets you need and the best fertilizer for 2026. It will try to pull you back into the leaking bucket. Don't let the cycle break with you. Join the Grow Lazy movement. We don't work harder, we design better. We don't spend more, we grow more. Click that subscribe button. Secure your fortress. Let's stop being line items in a corporate ledger and start being the architects of our own freedom. The 4,000-year dividend is waiting for you. Are you ready to collect?